Before this year ends, ask yourself one honest question. If you disappeared tomorrow, how many people would truly benefit from the life you're living today? Most people spend their time pleasing others. But what if 2026 is the year you finally put yourself first? Not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom. Because a person who is centered becomes unshakable. And I promise you this, if you follow the path I'm about to share, 2026 will become the year you reclaim your inner power and live with clarity, discipline, and purpose. 1. Self-prioritization is not ego, it is responsibility. There comes a moment in every person's life when the world's noise becomes so loud, so demanding, so endlessly hungry, that you begin to forget the sound of your own inner voice. And when that happens, you drift. You drift into obligations that are not yours, expectations that do not belong to you, and identities that were never meant to fit your spirit. But here is the truth. Putting yourself first is not an act of selfishness. It is the highest form of responsibility. Responsibility for your health, responsibility for your energy, responsibility for your peace, responsibility for the direction of your life. When you do not prioritize yourself, you silently grant permission for the world to dictate your path. And the world will not hesitate. It will pull you, push you, bend you, and reshape you to satisfy its own needs. You become an instrument in someone else's orchestra, playing music that does not reflect your soul. Yet deep within, something begins to ache. A quiet whisper emerges. Where did I go? Self-prioritization is the act of answering that whisper. It is the process of turning inward, reclaiming the pieces of yourself that you scattered in the service of everyone else. It is the recognition that your life is not an unlimited resource, and that your time, your mind, and your heart must be guarded with intention. People often misunderstand this. They think putting themselves first means turning their back on others. But that is not true. When you prioritize yourself, you are not withdrawing your compassion. You are strengthening its source. A drained person cannot uplift others. A confused mind cannot guide others. A broken spirit cannot inspire others. A weakened foundation cannot support others. But a centered individual can. Think of a tree. It does not apologize for reaching toward the sun. It does not shrink so smaller plants feel more comfortable. It does not dim its growth so others can grow faster. Its only duty is to grow deeply, fully, strongly. And in doing so, it becomes a shelter. It becomes nourishment. It becomes stability. It becomes life for the entire ecosystem around it. You are no different. Every time you choose rest over burnout, you grow. Every time you choose clarity over chaos, you grow. Every time you choose purpose over people-pleasing, you grow. Every time you choose your path over approval, you grow. And the world benefits from that growth. Prioritizing yourself is not a withdrawal from humanity. It is your gift to it. Because what the world truly needs is not more exhausted people, but more awakened ones. People who live from the strength of their center, not the fragility of their wounds. But self-prioritization requires honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable. You must ask questions that many avoid. Where am I betraying myself? Whose expectations am I living under? What responsibilities have I accepted that do not belong to me? What parts of my life have I abandoned in order to be liked, accepted, or needed? These questions are heavy because they reveal a truth many fear. You have allowed yourself to be shaped by the hands of others. But the moment you see it, truly see it, a profound shift begins. Your spine straightens, your breath deepens, your awareness sharpens. You begin acting from intention instead of reaction, from clarity instead of confusion, from alignment instead of obligation. This is where self-prioritization becomes a sacred responsibility, because the world will always attempt to rush you, demand from you, claim parts of you, but only you can decide which parts remain yours. People may not understand your boundaries at first. They may question your distance, your silence, your focus. But you are not living for their understanding. You are living for your truth. And when you live from truth, the right people will remain. Not because they need from you, but because they respect the wholeness you are becoming. This is the foundation of a strong life. To choose yourself first, not as an escape from other, but as the anchor of all you will give to the world. And with that foundation set, a deeper realization begins to rise, one that leads directly into the next truth. If self-prioritization is responsibility, then how do you express that responsibility in your daily actions? There is only one answer, and it is the doorway to all transformation. 2. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. Discipline is often misunderstood. People see it as restriction, limitation, or punishment. But discipline, in its purest form, is the most powerful expression of love you can offer yourself. Because discipline says, I am worth consistency. I am worth structure. I am worth my own effort. I am worth the future I desire. When you lack discipline, you do not lack ability. You lack alignment. You drift between desires and distractions, between intentions and impulses, between your potential and your excuses. You know what you should do, but somehow you never quite arrive there. Why? Because discipline is not built through force. It is built through self-respect. When you respect yourself, you honor your time, you honor your goals, you honor your inner promise, you honor your future self, the version of you waiting to be born. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasies. With discipline, even the impossible becomes reachable. But discipline does not begin with grand gestures. It begins with the smallest decisions. Waking up with intention. Moving your body even when you feel tired. Choosing nutritious food instead of emotional comfort. Reading instead of scrolling. Breathing deeply instead of reacting impulsively. Finishing what you start. Every disciplined act is a vote for the person you want to become. And these votes accumulate. They build momentum, they form habits, they become identity. One day you look back and realize you no longer force yourself to be disciplined. Discipline lives within you. It becomes part of your character, woven into your decisions, guiding your actions even when no one is watching. This is something many overlook. True discipline is invisible. It is reflected not in the big achievements people celebrate, but in the silent battles no one ever sees. The moments when you choose growth over comfort, progress over procrastination, align me, NT over temptation. Discipline is not about controlling life. It is about controlling your response to life. The world is unpredictable, chaotic, ever-changing. But your inner discipline, that is steady, that is stable, that is anchored. And when life becomes stormy, discipline becomes your shelter. It prevents you from collapsing into overwhelm. It gives structure to uncertainty. It turns fear into action and confusion into clarity. But discipline also requires courage. The courage to disappoint your comfort zone again and again until it stops controlling you. Your comfort zone whispers, stay here, stay safe, stay unchanged. But your potential whispers louder, there is more. Keep going, keep rising. The discipline to follow that second voice, that is where transformation begins. People wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel ready. But discipline does not depend on feelings. Discipline creates the feelings. A disciplined person becomes a magnet for opportunities. Not because of luck, but because consistency sharpens skill, and skill attracts doors that once seemed locked. And as you grow in discipline, something remarkable happens. Within you, your trust in yourself expands. Your confidence strengthens. Your self-image elevates. You begin to see yourself not as who you were, but as who you are becoming. This is why discipline is the highest form of self-respect, because every disciplined action is an affirmation of your worth, an affirmation of your vision, an affirmation of your potential. And when you act from this level of self-respect, the world shifts around you. People treat you differently. Opportunities find you. Distractions lose their grip. You rise, not accidentally, not occasionally, but consistently. And yet, even discipline is not enough on its own. For discipline to be sustained, for it to flourish, for it to elevate your life, there is one more element you must cultivate: the world that surrounds you. Because discipline cannot thrive in a hostile environment, so the next truth asks you to examine with honesty the landscape of your life. 3. Your environment shapes your destiny. You can have the clearest vision, the strongest intention, and the deepest discipline, but if your environment contradicts your growth, it will slowly suffocate your progress. Your environment is not merely air you live. It is what you consume, what you allow, what you tolerate, who you walk beside. Every environment carries energy. Some environments elevate you, others drain you. Some environments sharpen your purpose, others blur it. Some environments push you upward, others pull you downward. And most people never realize how deeply their environment shapes their destiny until they step outside of it. When you surround yourself with people who complain, you become a complaint. When you surround yourself with people who blame, you become a victim. When you surround yourself with people who fear growth, you shrink to match them. When you surround yourself with chaos, your mind loses its clarity. But the opposite is also true. When you surround yourself with people who push limits, your limits expand. When you surround yourself with people who hold high standards, yours rise to meet them. When you surround yourself with people who value peace, your spirit softens. When you surround yourself with disciplined minds, your motivation strengthens. When you surround yourself with wisdom, your decisions evolve. You become the environment you choose. This is why you must choose it. Why? Intention. Look at the people closest to you. Do they inspire you, challenge you, nourish you, support your growth, respect your boundaries? Or do they keep you small? Look at your physical space. Is it aligned with your aspirations or cluttered with distractions? Does it calm your mind or agitate it? Does it reflect the person you want to be or the person you are trying to leave behind? Look at your digital environment. What you watch, what you consume, what you scroll through, what you allow to enter your mind daily. These things are not harmless. They shape your focus, your mood, your beliefs, your actions, your destiny. Every environment is a seedbed. If you plant your life in unhealthy soil, you will struggle to grow no matter how hard you try. But if you plant yourself in fertile soil, in wisdom, in discipline, in supportive energy, your growth becomes natural, effortless, inevitable. And yet, changing your environment requires courage. Because some environments are familiar, comfortable, predictable, safe, even when they are harmful. Leaving them means stepping into the unknown. It means risking misunderstanding. It means letting go of attachments. It means facing solitude. But solitude is not emptiness. It is the clearing where transformation begins. When you clean your environment, your mind clears. When your mind clears, your direction sharpens. When your direction sharpens, your purpose awakens. And when your purpose awakens, your destiny accelerates. Never underestimate the power of a single change, one new habit, one inspiring friendship, one space of silence, one shift in routine, one decision to walk away from what no longer aligns. These small changes reshape the trajectory of your entire life. And the truth is simple. Your environment will either nurture your greatness or nourish your excuses. But once you understand this, once you see it clearly, once you feel the impact of every space you walk into and every person you walk beside, a deeper question emerges. A question that leads directly to your next stage of evolution. If your environment shapes your destiny, then who must you become within that environment to rise beyond everything that once held you back. 4. Silence is a powerful teacher. In a world overflowing with noise, silence has become rare. We surround ourselves with constant movement, endless converse, patience, unending distraction. We reach for our devices when we are anxious. We fill empty spaces with sound, and we mistake activity for clarity. Yet beneath this noise lies one of the greatest teachers available to any human being: silence. Silence is not empty. Silence is not absence. Silence is not withdrawal. Silence is presence in its purest form. When the outside world grows loud, your inner world grows faint. You lose the ability to hear yourself. You lose the connection to your intuition. You lose the guidance that naturally arises when the mind becomes still. This is why so many feel lost, not because they lack answers, but because they lack the quiet in which answers can appear. But the moment you step into silence intentionally, everything begins to shift. Silence strips away illusion. Silence reveals truth. Silence shows you who you are without the world's influence. There is a reason why ancient traditions, warriors, philosophers, and seekers of all kinds retreat into silence before great responsibility. Silence brings you back into alignment. It reminds you of what matters. It reveals what is essential and exposes what is unnecessary. In silence, you begin to observe the patterns of your mind. You notice the fears that whisper beneath the surface. You see the thoughts that repeat without purpose. You recognize the conditioning that limits your decisions. You become the witness instead of the one controlled by inner storms. And as the storms subside, a new clarity emerges, gentle at first, then stronger, then radiant. You begin to understand that silence is not passive. It is active. It is not weakness. It is strength. It is not emptiness. It is fullness. In silence, your intuition sharpens, because there is finally space for it to speak. In silence, your emotions settle, because they are no longer inflamed by noise. In silence, your energy restores because nothing is pulling at it. In silence, your decisions improve because they arise from clarity instead of confusion. This is why silence is a teacher. It teaches you what tension hides. It teaches you what distraction suppresses. It teaches you what fear avoids. Silence teaches you to listen, not to others, but to the deepest part of yourself. But silence also reveals something else, the truth of what you've avoided. Because when there is no noise to hide behind, you must face your reality. No excuses, no stories, no escape. And this is where many run, because silence is honest, and honesty is uncomfortable. Yet the moment you stay, even when discomfort rises, you begin to transform. The illusions fall away, the masks dissolve, the noise of the ego quiets, and what remains is authenticity. This authenticity becomes your compass. It becomes the foundation for every decision that follows. You begin to speak with more intention. You begin to move with more purpose. You begin to act from a center that cannot be shaken. Silence teaches you to find strength without aggression. Silence teaches you to find clarity without force. Silence teaches you to find peace without avoidance. And once you learn from silence, you carry that wisdom everywhere, into your relationships, your work, your discipline, your ambitions. You respond instead of react. You observe instead of absorb. You choose instead of drift. But silence is not something you visit once, it is something you cultivate. A few minutes of silence each day can alter your entire path. A moment of stillness before speaking can prevent unnecessary conflict. A moment of quiet before deciding can prevent years of regret. Silence becomes the space in which your best self rises. And once you experience the teachings of silence, another truth becomes clear. A truth that cannot be ignored. A truth that leads to the next realization. Because once you learn to honor silence, you must also learn to guard your energy. For what good is clarity if your energy is scattered? 5. Protect your energy as if it were a sacred resource. Energy is the currency of your life, not money, not time, not opportunity, energy. Without energy, time becomes useless. Without energy, opportunities slip through your fingers. Without energy, even simple tasks feel overwhelming. This is why the greatest mistake many people make is offering their energy too freely. To people, to distractions, to habits, to environments that do not honor it. Your energy is sacred because it determines the quality of your actions, the strength of your discipline, the clarity of your mind, and the depth of your presence. Without protected energy, your life becomes reactive. You get pulled in every direction, drained by every expectation, and exhausted by every demand. But when you treat your energy as sacred, everything Heng. You begin to notice who leaves you empty and who leaves you elevated. You begin to feel which environments nourish you and which environments poison you. You begin to see which activities drain your strength and which activities expand it. You begin to understand that protecting your energy is not avoidance, it is mastery. This mastery begins with awareness. Look at the conversations you engage in. Look at the people you allow into your life. Look at the habits that consume your time. Look at the emotions you feed. Ask yourself, is this strengthening me or weakening me? Every person you interact with influences your energy. Some lift you, some lower you, some balance you, some confuse you. It takes courage to step away from those who drain you, yet this courage becomes essential. Because when you allow someone to repeatedly take from you, you are not being kind, you are abandoning yourself. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries, not boundaries of anger, but boundaries of clarity, not boundaries of rejection, but boundaries of self-respect. Boundaries say, this is where I end, this is where my peace begins, this is what I allow, this is what I refuse. And boundaries do not require explanation, because your life is your responsibility. You must also protect your energy from the habits that steal it quietly. Excessive noise, constant distraction, emotional reactions, procrastination, negative environments, overcommitment, and self-doubt. These things consume energy faster than stress itself. But when you protect your energy, you regain control. You begin to move with intention. You begin to choose your battles. You begin to elevate your standards. You begin to honor your inner strength. Your energy affects your creativity, your courage, your decisiveness, your resilience. When your energy is high, you see possibilities. When your energy is low, you feel trapped. This is why protecting your energy is not optional, it is essential. Your energy determines whether you rise or collapse, whether you build or destroy, whether you create your life or fall victim to it. And here is the deeper truth. People will always demand from you. Life will always challenge you. Distractions will always tempt you. But only you decide who enters your mind, who touches your heart, who receives your time, and who has access to your energy. This is your power. This is your responsibility. This is your sacred duty. When you protect your energy, you begin to live from a place of strength instead of depletion. You begin to inspire without effort, influence without force, and grow without exhaustion. Your inner world becomes stable, and your presence becomes magnetic. But energy protection alone is not the key. Energy must be preserved, and then directed, preserved, and then transformed, preserved, and then amplified through daily rituals. Because once you guard your energy, you must learn how to use it, and that leads directly into the next truth, the one that builds your entire year, your entire transformation. 6. Daily rituals create yearly transformations. Transformation does not happen in a single moment. It does not arrive through inspiration, motivation, or rare moments of clarity. Transformation is built through the quiet repetition of consistent daily rituals. What you do occasionally shapes your mood. What you do consistently shapes your life. People often imagine transformation as a leap, an awakening, a sudden shift. But true transformation is not loud. It is subtle. It is gradual. It is the accumulati on of hundreds of small choices. Choices so small they seem insignificant in the moment. But repeated daily, they reshape identity. This is why daily rituals matter. Not because of their intensity, but because of their consistency. A ritual is not a habit. A habit is something you do. A ritual is something you do with awareness, intention, and meaning. A ritual is a commitment to your future self. A ritual grounds your mind. A ritual sharpens your discipline. A ritual reinforces your identity. A ritual stabilizes your emotions. A ritual nurtures your energy. Daily rituals are the architecture of a strong life. They may look simple: a morning breath practice, a few minutes of silence, a daily stretch, a handwritten intention, a period of reflection before sleep. But these small rituals accumulate. They build momentum. They anchor you. They shape the rhythm of your day so your day does not control you. Daily rituals protect you from drift. Without rituals, you wake up reactive. You move without direction. You get pulled by circumstances, influenced by stress, and shaped by whatever noise crosses your path. But with rituals, you reclaim power. You begin your day centered, grounded, prepared. A single ritual can change the quality of your entire morning. A series of rituals can change the direction of your entire year. A commitment to rituals can change the destiny of your entire life. And rituals do something even more powerful. They reaffirm who you are becoming. Each time you repeat a ritual, you are casting a vote for the future version of yourself. The stronger you, the disciplined you, the centered you, the purposeful you. Over time, the votes accumulate and identity shifts. You do not become disciplined by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by practicing rituals that align with discipline. You do not become peaceful by wishing for peace. You become peaceful by creating rituals that generate peace. You do not become focused by hoping for clarity. You become focused by engaging in rituals that sharpen your attention. This is the power of daily rituals. They are not tasks. They are transformation in motion. But choosing rituals requires awareness. Ask yourself, what do I wish to strengthen in myself this year? What quality do I want to embody? What version of myself do I want to meet in 12 months? Then create rituals that support that version. If you want strength, create rituals of discipline. If you want clarity, create rituals of silence. If you want peace, create rituals of grounding. If you want purpose, create rituals of reflection. If you want mastery, create rituals of practice. The ritual shapes the result. The result shapes the identity. The identity shapes the destiny. Daily rituals make you intentional. Intentionality makes you powerful. But the rituals must be honored, not followed perfectly, but honored consistently. Because every ritual you skip weakens the identity you are building. Every ritual you perform strengthens it. This is why rituals must be simple. Simplicity makes consistency possible. A ritual is not about duration. It is about presence. A ritual is not about volume. It is about depth. The smallest ritual done with devotion becomes stronger than the largest ritual done without intention. And once you commit to rituals, your entire life begins to shift quietly, steadily, deeply. You begin to feel the transformation long before others notice it. Your energy changes, your posture changes, your decisions change, your boundaries sharpen, your CLA really heightens, your purpose awakens. And then one day you realize that you have become a different person, not by force, but by gentle consistency. But this realization leads to an even deeper question, a question that shapes everything that comes next. For if daily rituals create yearly transformations, then what must you do with the person you are becoming? What must you embrace next on this path of inner mastery? 7. Your mind needs training, the same way your body does. The body is obvious. When it becomes weak, you feel it. When it loses strength, you notice it. When it lacks flexibility, the limitation is undeniable. So you stretch it, strengthen it, discipline it, condition it. But the mind hides its weakness behind noise, behind distraction, behind routines that numb rather than nourish. And because the mind's decline is silent, many people do not notice they are losing control of themselves until their life reflects it in their choices, their reactions, their patterns, their relationships, their emotions. The truth is simple. A mind left untrained becomes your master. A mind trained becomes your servant. An untrained mind is reactive. It pulls you toe. Add impulses. It overwhelms you with emotion. It drowns you in overthinking. It distracts you from your goals. A trained mind is calm. It observes without judgment. It decides without fear. It focuses without struggle. It withstands pressure without collapsing. This is why training the mind is not optional. It is essential. Most people believe the mind becomes strong by thinking more. But the mind becomes strong by thinking better, by thinking consciously, intentionally, and with awareness. Mind training begins in the quiet spaces, the pauses between thoughts, the stillness beneath emotions. It begins where the noise fades and clarity awakens. When you train the mind, you cultivate habits that build mental resilience, breath control that regulates emotion, observation that separates you from the chaos, focus that sharpens your attention like a blade, reflection that reveals truth, discipline that anchors your decisions. These practices do not remove challenges, they elevate you above them. A trained mind can walk through chaos without absorbing it. A trained mind can face conflict without losing presence. A trained mind can experience fear without being ruled by it. A trained mind can witness negativity without becoming it. And this training, like the training of the body, is built through repetition, daily rituals, moments of silence, moments of awareness, moments of conscious choice. Each moment is like a push-up for your mind. Each breath is a stretch for your awareness. Each decision is a rep in the gym of discipline. But mind training also requires honesty. Honesty about your patterns, your impulses, your attachments, your fears, because you cannot train what you refuse to see. And once you begin to train the mind, you discover something profound. Your life is not controlled by circumstances. It is controlled by the quality of your thoughts. When your mind is centered, life becomes simpler. When your mind is scattered, life becomes complicated. The world does not change. You change. And through that change, your entire experience transforms. Training the mind gives you the most powerful gift a human can possess: inner freedom, freedom from overwhelm, freedom from chaos, freedom from emotional turbulence, freedom from old patterns that once dictated your life. But this freedom requires courage, the courage to take responsibility, or your inner world. Because once your mind becomes strong, excuses lose their grip. And without excuses, you stand face to face with your true potential. And that is where the next challenge begins. Because when you strengthen the mind, you begin to see clearly the places where your energy leaks. And one of the greatest leaks is the inability to say a single powerful word. 8. Learn to say no without guilt. For many people, the hardest word to speak is not yes. It is no. No feels sharp, no feels uncomfortable, no feels like rejection, not only to others but to yourself. Yet the inability to say no is one of the greatest sources of depletion, stress, and inner conflict. When you say yes to things that drain you, you say no to your own peace. When you say yes to obligations that do not align with your path, you say no to your purpose. When you say yes to people who take but do not give, you say no to your own well-being. And over time, something inside you begins to fracture because the weight of unwanted yes responses becomes heavy. Heavier than you realize. It leads to resentment, mental exhaustion, lost time, misalignment. But the most dangerous consequence is this: you forget how to choose yourself. Learning to say no is not an act of rejection, it is an act of protection. Protection of your energy, protection of your priorities, protection of your inner truth. And the moment you learn to say no without guilt, you reclaim a part of yourself that has been silent for too long. To say no with clarity is to live with integrity. To say no with calmness is to live with self-respect. To say no with confidence is to live with inner authority. Because every no you speak is a boundary. And boundaries are the invisible walls that protect your mental and emotional freedom. But people fear no because they fear losing acceptance. They fear disappointing others. They fear being misunderstood. They fear being judged. Yet the truth is unavoidable. A life built on forced yes will always lead to inner suffering. A life built on authentic no will always lead to empowerment. And here is something important. You are not responsible for how others feel about your boundaries. You are responsible for maintaining the boundary itself. Some people will not like your no. They may resist it. They may question it. May even try to guilt you. But these reactions reveal something crucial. They show who benefited from your lack of boundaries. And knowing this gives you strength, because no is not a wall, it is a doorway. A doorway that opens into a life where your energy is respected, your time is valued, and your direction is honored. Imagine your life if you replace guilt with clarity. Imagine if you trusted your intuition enough to decline what does not align. Imagine if you stood strong enough to protect your peace. You would move through life differently, with more intention, more purpose, more calmness, more space for what truly matters. Learning to say no is learning to choose yourself without apology. And once you start choosing yourself, something powerful begins to unfold. You begin to align your life with your inner values. You begin to remove contradiction from your actions. You begin to live a life that feels authentic, not forced. And this alignment leads to the next truth, a truth that forms the backbone of all inner transformation. Because once you learn to say no to what is not yours, you must learn to align every yes you keep with the deepest values you carry within you. 9. Align your actions with your deepest values. There comes a point in your journey where discipline is not enough, silence is not enough, boundaries are not enough. Because even with these strengths, a question remains: are you living in alignment with your deepest values? Most people never ask themselves what they truly value. They follow routines they did not choose. They chase goals they inherited from others. They sacrifice their peace for approval. They compromise their integrity for acceptance. And because of this, their life feels heavy. Not because life is overwhelming, but because they are carrying values that are not their own. But alignment is liberation. When your actions match your values, you stop fighting yourself. A person in alignment walks differently. Their energy is lighter. Their decisions are clearer. Their presence is stronger. Their direction is certain. Because there is no inner conflict, no forced ambition, no hidden resentment, no silent contradictions. To live in alignment, you must first ask, what do I truly value? What principles define my life? What qualities matter more than comfort? What virtues matter more than approval? What truth within me cannot be ignored? These questions reveal your inner compass. They reveal the foundation of your character. They reveal what your life must be built upon. Because values are not simply ideas, they are commitments, guidelines, internal laws that shape your identity and your destiny. And when you act against your values, even in small ways, the mind punishes you. You feel heaviness, you feel tension, you feel guilt, you feel disconnection. These feelings are not failures, they are signals, indicators that you are living out of alignment with your truth. But the moment you bring your actions back into harmony with your values, your life begins to flow again. Decision-making becomes easier, focus becomes natural, motivation becomes steady, self-respect becomes unavoidable. Because you are no longer divided. Living in alignment also requires courage. Courage to walk away from things that contradict your integrity. Courage to choose the harder path when it honors your principles. Courage to stand alone when alignment demands it. Because alignment often requires sacrifice. Sacrifice of comfort. Sacrifice of approval. Sacrifice of old habits. Sacrifice of environments that no longer match your growth. But what you gain in return is a life that feels like yours. A life where your actions reflect your values, where your relationships reflect your boundaries, where your choices reflect your identity, where your path reflects your truth. And when your actions align with your deepest values, something extraordinary happens. Your life begins to feel meaningful. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is connected. Meaning is the result of alignment. Peace is the result of alignment. Inner strength is the result of alignment. And once you experience alignment, there is no turning back. Because you finally understand what it means to live from your center rather than your circumstances. But alignment brings you to the threshold of an even deeper realization. A realization that will shape the next stage of your evolution. Because once your actions align with your values, the question becomes, how far can you grow when nothing inside you is working against you? 10. Rest is not laziness, it is preparation. There is a moment in every day when the body speaks more sly than the mind. It whispers through tension, through fatigue, through that quiet pull inside the chest that says, stop, breathe, reset. Most people ignore this whisper. They mistake it for weakness or inconvenience or a sign that they must push harder, but wisdom teaches the opposite. Rest is not laziness. Rest is preparation. When you rest consciously, you are not stepping away from your path. You are sharpening yourself to walk it with greater precision. Pause for a moment. Imagine a warrior who never puts down the sword. It eventually becomes heavy. Not because the sword grew heavier, but because the warrior forgot the importance of renewal. In life, the same truth applies. Your strength weakens not from the load you carry, but from the lack of time you give yourself to regenerate. Rest is the breath between the notes of a powerful melody. It is the silence that makes the music stronger. And yet so many people run endlessly, fearing that stopping even for a moment will make them fall behind. But falling behind is not caused by rest. Falling behind is caused by running without clarity, acting without intention, moving without alignment. True rest is not a collapse into exhaustion. It is an intentional, grounded return to center. When you sit in stillness, you allow your breath to settle like calm water. Your thoughts begin to clear, the mind stops racing, the body releases tension it has carried for too long. And in that space, something powerful happens. Your inner compass recalibrates. You remember what is important. You see your direction more clearly. Your thoughts move from chaotic to precise. Rest is a strategy, a ritual, a form of mastery. It is the acknowledgement that your energy is sacred and must be protected, renewed, and directed wisely. A rested mind does not react, it responds. A rested body does not collapse, it acts with power. A rested spirit does not wander, it stands firm. Rest is the preparation that allows you to rise into the next moment with strength rather than strain. And if you want to put yourself first in the year ahead, you must learn this wisdom. You cannot build a powerful life from an exhausted foundation. You cannot create clarity from a tired mind. You cannot connect with purpose if you are running on fumes. Rest, not to escape life, but to return to it with greater precision. Because when you rest wisely, your next step becomes your strongest step. And this brings you to a new truth. To walk strongly next, you must first learn to walk alone inside yourself, without clinging to the approval of others. The next insight waits beyond this doorway. Silence restores your power, but reclaiming your voice is what elevates it. 11. Let go of approval from others. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the expectations you carry were never yours to begin with. The world, without your permission, has placed layers upon you, ideas of who you should be, how you must behave, what path you must follow, which dreams are acceptable, and which parts of yourself you must hide. Approval is a subtle prison. It does not lock you with chains. It binds you with the fear of disappointment. And when you live for the approval of others, you slowly abandon the one person whose approval matters most, yourself. The journey of putting yourself first requires a powerful, sometimes uncomfortable truth. Not everyone will understand your path, not everyone will support it, and not everyone is meant to walk it with you. Approval is borrowed energy. It can vanish at any moment. And whatever is borrowed can be taken away. But self-approval, that is a power no one can remove. Ask yourself, how many decisions in your life were shaped by fear? The fear of judgment, criticism, misunderstanding. How many times did you silence your truth because you worried how it might be received? How often did you choose comfort over courage because someone might not approve? This fear is not accidental. It was trained into you. From childhood, you were taught to fit, to blend, to follow. Yet mastery is never found in following. It is found in returning to yourself. Letting go of approval is not rebellion. It is liberation. It is the moment you stop performing for the world and start living from the center of your being. When you let go of approval, your voice becomes clearer, your decisions become bolder, your spirit becomes lighter, because you no longer carry the weight of trying to be something you are not. You begin choosing what aligns with your values, not what pleases the crowd. You begin walking where your soul points, not where the world pushes. And this does not mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means becoming authentic. It means honoring your inner truth, even when others may not understand it. There is a hidden strength that awakens. The moment you stop chasing acceptance, you become unshakable. Those who rely on approval crumble when someone disapproves, but those who approve of themselves stand firm in any storm. Release the need to be liked, release the need to be praised, release the need to be validated. Because when your worth no longer depends on the shifting opinions of others, you become free, truly free, to pursue the life that belongs to you. And this freedom leads you into your next evolution, choosing purpose over comfort, even when it demands bravery. Prepare yourself. Purpose does not whisper, it demands your transformation. 12. Choose purpose over comfort. Comfort is warm. Comfort is familiar. Comfort is predictable. And comfort is the silent enemy of every great life ever lived. If you stay where it feels safe, you remain who you have always been. Nothing new grows in the soil of comfort. No transformation rises from a life untouched by challenge. No greatness emerges from avoiding discomfort. Purpose, however, is the force that pushes you beyond what you know, into what you are truly meant to become. Purpose is not always pleasant. It is rarely easy, but it is always meaningful. To choose purpose over comfort is to choose the path of growth instead of the path of stagnation. It is to say, I will not live a small life simply because it is easier. Purpose demands honesty. It forces you to confront your fears, your excuses, your limitations, your habits, your resistance. Purpose asks you to step into territory where you cannot rely on old versions of yourself. It compels you to evolve, and if you avoid discomfort, you avoid evolution. Think about the strongest trees. They grow not because the wind is gentle, but because the wind is strong. Their roots deepen because resistance shapes their resilience. The same applies to you. Your challenges are not punishments. They are invitations. They ask you to rise. They ask you to grow. They ask you to step into your power. Comfort whispers, stay where you are. Purpose whispers, become who you could be. And you must decide which voice will lead your life. When you choose comfort, your potential sleeps. When you choose purpose, your potential awakens. Purpose requires sacrifice, sacrificing ease for effort, comfort for clarity, routine for transformation, fear for courage, old patterns for new beginnings. But what you receive in return is far greater than what you let go of. You receive direction, meaning, strength, focus, depth, mastery. Purpose gives you a life worth waking up for. Comfort only gives you days that blend together until you forget what it feels like to grow. And in the coming year, if you truly wish to put yourself first, you must be willing to step into the territory of purpose, even when it feels uncertain, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels beyond your current strength. Because purpose does not wait for you to be ready. Purpose becomes the reason you become ready. And when you choose purpose, something extraordinary happens. Your life begins to align. Your energy intensifies. Your sense of self strengthens. You no longer drift. You direct. Comfort keeps you surviving. Purpose moves you toward becoming. And the moment you choose pose, you open the door to the next evolution, waiting for you. The one where your inner world becomes stronger than any external challenge. If comfort keeps you small, purpose teaches you how to expand. You cannot control the world, only yourself. There comes a moment in life when you finally understand that the world is not yours to command. The world moves with its own rhythm, its own storms, its own timing, its own unpredictable seasons. You cannot force the sun to rise earlier. You cannot command the wind to shift. You cannot stop the rain, nor the winter, nor the chaos of a world that never sleeps. And yet so many people exhaust themselves, trying to control everything around them. Situations, outcomes, opinions, behaviors, timing. They fight battles that were never meant to be theirs. They try to bend life to their will, not realizing that doing so only leads to tension, frustration, and endless conflict. The truth is simple, and yet it requires deep courage to accept. You cannot control the world, only yourself. This truth is not defeat, it is liberation. Because once you stop wasting energy on what you cannot control, you finally gain the power to master what you can. The mind, the breath, the actions you take, the discipline you uphold, the attitude you carry, the meaning you assign to the events of your life. This is where real mastery begins. Most people are tossed around by life because they place their center of gravity outside themselves. They allow their peace to depend on external things. Other people's words, moods, decisions, mistakes, expectations. But when you build your inner world on things you cannot control, you create a life of fragility. One comment can break you. One disappointment can discourage you. One unexpected event can shatter your confidence. One moment of chaos can make you lose direction. A life built on externals is like a house built on shifting sand. It cannot stand, not for long. But when you turn inward, when you begin strengthening the only domain that truly belongs to you, your inner world, you create a foundation that nothing outside can shake. The storms may come, people may disappoint you, circumstances may shift, plans may crumble, the world may turn upside down, but your center remains intact. Because you are no longer reacting to the world, you are responding from a place of clarity. Breath becomes your anchor. Your awareness becomes your guide. Your discipline becomes your shield. Your presence becomes your power. You realize that external chaos is only dangerous to those who carry internal chaos. And so the work becomes clear. Strengthen the inner world until the outer world can no longer control your state. Practice noticing your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. Practice observing your thoughts without letting them define you. Practice breathing through pressure instead of collapsing beneath it. This is not suppression, it is self-mastery. The more you align yourself internally, the less the world can pull you into its turbulence. When something goes wrong, the uncontrolled mind says, "Why is this happening? Who caused this? How do I fix everything?" But the trained mind asks, "What can I control in this moment? What is the next right action? How do I return to clarity?" The world becomes less intimidating when you stop trying to dominate it and start mastering the one territory that is truly yours, the self. And gradually, you discover a powerful truth. You don't need the world to be calm for you to remain calm. Your peace becomes independent. Your strength becomes self-generated. Your path becomes internally directed. And this shift, this profound shift, is what transforms your entire life. Because when you stop wrestling with the world, you free your hands to build the world within you. And as the world within grows stronger and more disciplined, more intentional, more present, you naturally begin to influence the world outside you. Without force, without pressure, without control. Influence born from inner stability is far greater than influence born from external domination. This is how mastery begins, and it leads you toward the next step on the path, strengthening the connection between mind and body, until your actions reflect your inner clarity. When you become the master of yourself, you become the architect of your destiny. This prepares you for what comes next. 14. Train your body to train your character. There is a deep ancient wisdom in the simple act of physical training. To the untrained eye, it may look like movement, repetition, exertion, but beneath the surface, something far more profound occurs. Every time you train your body, you are training your character. Every push, every stance, every breath, every stretch that challenges your limits is reshaping not only muscles, but discipline, patience, resilience, clarity. The body is the doorway to the mind, and the mind is the doorway to who you become. Most people treat physical training as something separate, a task, a hobby, an obligation. But those who walk the deeper path understand that training is not about the body at all. It is about who you become through the effort you apply. When you ask your body to lift a little more, to extend a little further, to move with more precision, you are teaching your mind to remain steady under pressure. When your muscles begin to shake and your breath becomes heavy and your comfort tries to pull you backward, that is the exact moment. Your character is being shaped. Not when it is easy, not when it feels effortless, not when you enjoy it, but when your body says stop and your mind says keep going. This is the space where transformation occurs. Physical training teaches you the language of endurance, the ability to continue, even when nothing in you wants to. It teaches discipline, showing up again and again, not because you feel like it, but because you committed. It teaches humility, the understanding that growth happens slowly, and mastery demands patience. It teaches focus, the ability to keep your attention on one movement, one breath, one moment. It teaches respect for your body, for your limits, and for the process of surpassing them. The body is honest. It does not lie. It does not pretend. It shows you exactly where you stand and exactly what must be improved. Through physical training, you learn that discomfort is not danger. It is a signal of expansion. You learn that exhaustion is not weakness. It is the boundary you are meant to cross. You learn that difficulty is not a problem. It is the teacher assigned to elevate you. The repetitions may seem small, but each one is a message to the mind. I can endure, I can persist, I can rise again. And gradually, the lessons you learn in training begin to bleed into every part of your life. When challenges appear, you do not collapse. You breathe, stabilize, and push forward. When others give up, you continue, because you are familiar with the taste of discipline. When the world places weight upon you, you do not shatter. You adjust your stance. Strength buoy, LT in the body, becomes strength carried in the spirit. Training grounds you, centering you in the present, forcing you to feel your breath, your heartbeat, your posture, your limits. And presence is the birthplace of clarity. Without presence, decisions become emotional. With presence, decisions become intentional. Training your body is training yourself to return to the present moment again and again and again. And something powerful happens. When the body and the mind align, the character transforms. You begin to act with purpose rather than impulse. You begin to carry yourself with discipline rather than hesitation. You begin to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. This is why training is essential, not for aesthetics, but for identity. Every time you train the body, you write a silent message into the mind. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who can endure. I am someone who continues, even when my comfort begs me to stop. Training is not about the perfection of the body. It is about the strengthening of the human spirit. A strong body is visible. A strong character is undeniable. And the two are more deeply connected than most people realize. B, because as your character grows stronger, you begin to understand that the breath guiding your body is also the breath guiding your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, your path. This realization leads you into the next teaching, one that sits quietly behind every moment of training, every challenge, every step towards self-mastery. The breath is the gateway to calmness, and calmness is the gateway to power. Power is not found in force, but in the control of your inner rhythm. 15. Your breath is the gateway to calmness. There is a moment in every human life when everything feels overwhelming, too fast, too loud, too heavy. The world presses in from all sides, and the mind begins to scatter, like sand caught in a sudden gust of wind. In that moment, most people try to fix the world around them. They try to force circumstances into control. They try to calm situations, calm people, calm outcomes, calm the chaos outside. But true calmness, real calmness, never begins outside. It begins with one simple, ancient, overlooked truth. Your breath is the gateway to calmness. Not the world, not the people, not the situation, not the noise, not the storm, your breath. It is the fee, RST movement you make when you enter this world, and the final movement you will make before you leave it. Everything between those two breaths, your entire life, is held together by this invisible thread that rises and falls within you. And yet, how often do you consciously return to it? Most people breathe unconsciously, rushing through life as if breathing is simply a biological function with no deeper meaning. But breath is not merely survival. Breath is wisdom. When your breath becomes fast, the mind becomes scattered. When your breath becomes shallow, your decisions become reactive. When your breath becomes tense, your emotions grow unstable. But when your breath slows, everything else slows with it. The mind softens, the emotions settle, the body releases its grip. The world seems less overwhelming, less impossible, less chaotic. This is not an illusion, it is the direct communication between your breath and your nervous system. There is a quiet intelligence inside you, a system designed to restore calmness, to bring you back to center, to help you navigate life with clarity. But you must learn to activate it. And the switch is your breath. Take a slow breath in. Notice how the body expands, how the chest lifts, how the belly softens. Then release it. Notice how the world grows quieter as the lungs empty. Within that simple rhythm lies a doorway you were never taught to enter. Only a calm mind can make clear decisions. Only a calm body can carry strength. Only a calm spirit can walk the path of purpose. Breath is not a retreat. It is a tool, a weapon, a compass. It brings you back to the only place where true power exists, the present moment. Because the present moment is silent. The present moment is still. The present moment does not demand. It invites. And the breath is your guide back to it. Every time the world pulls you away, in anger, breathe. In fear, breathe. In confusion, breathe. In doubt, breathe. In pressure, breathe. When you breathe consciously, you reclaim the ability to respond instead of react. A reactive life is chaotic. A responsive life is intentional. With each inhale, you gather yourself. With each exhale, you release what is unnecessary. The breath teaches letting go. The breath teaches presence. The breath teaches patience. The breath teaches awareness. It teaches you that not everything must be held onto. Not every thought deserves energy. Not every emotion deserves obedience. Not every situation deserves urgency. The breath gives you space. Space to see. Space to think. Space to choose. In that space, your clarity returns. In that clarity, your strength awakens. And from that strength, you step into life differently. Not with tension, not with fear, but with a presence that transforms everything around you. This is why breath is not a small practice. It is not a simple exercise. It is the foundation upon which emotional mastery is built. A calm breath creates a calm mind, and a calm mind creates a powerful life. And once you master the breath, something else becomes available to you. Something rare, something precious, something that can change the course of your entire future. Focus, the ability to keep your mind on what truly matters. Calmness awakens presence, but focus awakens mastery. 17. Mastering challenges brings growth. There comes a moment in every person's life when the path suddenly becomes steep, not just difficult, steep. So steep that your breath shortens, your legs tremble, your confidence cracks, and your mind begins to whisper that perhaps this ascent was never meant for you. Everyone meets this moment, the moment when life demands more than you believe you possess. But this is where misunderstanding begins. Because people mistake difficulty for punishment, hardship for misfortune, obstacles for signs that they are on the wrong path. Yet in truth, challenges are not placed in your life to break you. They arrive to shape you. Without resistance, a blade never sharpens. Without friction, a spark never ignites. Without pressure, strength never awakens. And without challenges, you never meet the deeper version of yourself. Most people run from difficulty. They hide from discomfort. They negotiate with excuses. They cling to the familiar, even when the familiar is the very thing holding them back. But life has a way of calling you forward, no matter how tightly you cling to what feels safe. It places a challenge in front of you, one that cannot be ignored, avoided, or explained away. This challenge becomes a gate, standing silently between you and the person you are destined to become. And you have only two choices: turn back and remain who you are, or step forward and become who you were meant to be. Growth does not come from comfort. Comfort only preserves what already exists. Growth comes from friction, from strain, from the discomfort of stretching beyond your limits. But here lies a deeper truth, the most powerful one. The challenge itself is not your adversary. Your perception of the challenge is. Two people can meet the same difficulty. One collapses beneath it, the other transforms because of it. It is not the weight that determines your destiny. It is how you choose to carry it. You may not control the challenge, but you control your response to it. And this response becomes your character. Some challenges arrive unexpectedly. Loss, failure, rejection, betrayal, uncertainty. They shake the foundation of your life until everything inside you feels unstable. Other challenges are chosen. Training, discipline, sacrifice, dedication. These shape the body, sharpen the mind, strengthen the spirit in ways comfort never could. No challenge is wasted as long as you choose to learn from it. When life becomes difficult, ask yourself a question. Most people never think to ask, what is this challenge trying to teach me? Every challenge teaches, every hardship reveals, every obstacle uncovers a hidden weakness or a hidden strength that you need to discover. The difficulty you face today is preparing you for responsibility, an opportunity, a moment that has not yet arrived. Growth is not delayed, it is disguised. Some challenges teach patience, some teach humility, some teach resilience, some teach perspective, some teach compassion, some teach inner strength, so quiet that no one else will see it, but you will feel it in every breath you take. Mastering challenges does not mean you will never stumble. It does not mean you will never feel fear. It does not mean you will never feel overwhelmed. Mastery simply means you learn to move through these feelings instead of being stopped by them. This is why the path of growth is walked by so few. Not because it is impossible, but because most people stop the moment it becomes uncomfortable. Growth demands courage. Growth demands endurance. Growth demands the willingness to enter the unknown. A life without challenge is a life without evolution. A life without evolution is a life without depth. And somewhere within you, beneath the fears, beneath the doubts, beneath the layers of hesitation, there is a force that is waiting to awaken. A force that only responds to pressure. A force that only appears when you are pushed to your edge. A force that reveals who you really are when there is no choice but to rise. Your greatest breakthroughs have always stood on the other side of your greatest challenges. And when you begin to see challenges not as burdens but as invitations, everything changes. You stop avoiding life, you start engaging with it. You stop shrinking, you start expanding. You stop fearing the storm. You start walking into it with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the wind may shake them, but it will never destroy them. Mastering challenges is mastering transformation, and transformation prepares you for the next truth, one that most people resist, yet cannot escape. Growth changes you, but it also forces you to confront the relationship you have with yourself. 18. Self-love is a journey, not a destination. There is a silence that most people carry within them, a silence made of doubt, of insecurity, of unspoken battles, of the quiet belief that they are somehow not enough. People learn to hide is silence behind laughter, behind achievements, behind responsibilities, behind masks so polished that even they begin to believe in them. But deep inside, there exists a softer voice, one that asks to be heard, but is ignored far too often. Do you truly value yourself? Self-love is spoken about as if it is an object, something you obtain, capture, achieve, and then hold forever. But self-love is not a trophy. It is a journey. A long one. A winding one. A messy, imperfect, deeply human journey. Some days you will feel worthy of your own compassion. Some days you will forget. Some days you will recognize your value. Some days you will question it. Some days you will rise with confidence. Some days you will shrink under the weight of old wounds that still echo in your memory. This is not failure. This is the path. Self-love requires patience, because healing does not follow a straight line. It requires tenderness, because harshness does not build strength. It builds walls. It requires forgiveness, because the past cannot be changed, but it can be understood. Self-love begins the moment you decide to stop waging war against yourself. Most people fight battles externally without realizing that the greatest battle is the one happening inside. The battle between who you are and who you think you should be. The battle between your potential and your fear. The battle between your true voice and the voices from the past that still echo in your mind. But here is the truth that changes everything. Self-love does not mean you feel good about yourself all the time. It means you treat yourself with respect, even when you don't feel good. It means you show yourself compassion, even when you are disappointed. It means you speak to yourself gently, even when you make mistakes. Self-love is not found in perfection. It is found in acceptance. To accept yourself without abandoning growth. This is the balance. To honor your strengths without denying your flaws. This is the wisdom. To recognize that you are worthy, not because of what you achieve, but because of who you are. This is the awakening. An awakening requires time. Self-love grows each time you choose boundaries that protect your peace. It grows each time you walk away from what diminishes you. It grows each time you silence the voice that compares you to others. It grows each time you choose rest over self-punishment. It grows each time you give yourself permission to be human, to be imperfect, to be evolving, to be a work in progress that does not need to apologize for its pace. The journey of self-love is the journey of returning to yourself again and again and again. And it is the process of unlearning the beliefs that told you your worth must be earned. It is the process of remembering that even your wounds are evidence of your resilience. It is the process of discovering that the person you have always been searching for is the one who has been inside you all along. But here is where the path becomes profound. Self-love is not just emotional, it is practical, it is disciplined, it is embodied through the choices you make every day. What you eat, how you rest, who you allow near your heart, what you tolerate, how you speak to yourself in silence, what you pursue and what you release. These choices are the rituals through which self-love becomes real. Self-love is not softness, it is strength. The strength to stand alone, the strength to grow slowly, the strength to demand more from your life, because you finally understand that you deserve more. But here lies the final truth. When you cultivate self-love, the world does not suddenly become easier, but you become stronger. And as you become stronger, you begin to see patterns. You begin to see how every challenge, every setback, every emotional wound was guiding you toward one realizer. Son, self-love unlocks inner peace, and inner peace reveals the true beginning of the journey ahead. The journey we have explored together is not a set of rules or steps. It is a mirror, reflecting what already exists within you. A life lived fully begins with the willingness to see yourself clearly, to face your fears, to embrace discomfort, and to honor the silent voice that has always guided you. To put yourself first is not selfishness. It is the ultimate act of wisdom. It is choosing the strength of your mind, the clarity of your breath, the power of your focus, and the integrity of your actions. It is saying no, without guilt, choosing purpose over comfort, and mastering the challenges that life places before you. Self-love is not a destination but a practice. Rest is not weakness but preparation. The mind, the body, the breath, the choices, the focus, all of these are tools to navigate life with intention, tools to cultivate presence, tools to rise above distraction, tools to transform every obstacle into opportunity. When you align your actions with your deepest values, when you train your mind and body with patience and discipline, when you breathe deeply in the face of chaos, and when you walk steadily through challenges, you awaken a life of clarity, purpose, and profound inner freedom. This is not a distant vision. It begins in this moment. It begins with the choice to put yourself first. It begins with the courage to honor your inner truth, to nurture your own growth, and to step fully into the life that has always been waiting for you. And once you make this choice, the path unfolds before you, not perfectly, but with the clarity and strength of a life lived intentionally, a life lived as your own.